Hello, welcome to the Fast Podcast, where we talk fast. Everybody is very, 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 very fast. Here's Tyler. Tyler, talk fast.
Hi, my name is Tyler. I talk really quickly. This is Kyle.
Hey, I'm Kyle. I'm talking really fast. I really like to talk without any punctuation because I think that's for legs.
Good.
Welcome to the Entity Cast. All right, boys, so welcome to the Entity Cast. Today we're doing a really fast review of Jojo Rabbit. Are you ready for Jojo Rabbit? What do you think about Jojo Rabbit? For audience retention, Jojo Rabbit is about a Nazi. He's a Nazi child. He thinks of Hitler. He's a Jojo, and he likes rabbits. And then he didn't kill the rabbit. And then a Joel. Tyler,
We're gonna get kicked out.
you need to cry faster.
Oh, I have a fucking headache already.
I breathed really hard. I need to lie down end the episode. The Fast Podcasts, they start quick and they end quicker. That's because Jesus Christ.
That took me a second.
Right, yes, welcome to episode 60-something. 60-something, I'm not even going to
Welcome to the episode.
We should just start saying
the definitive, the episode.
The episode, because
Like,
we're having a fucking episode right now.
This is like when movies make, like, they have all their big trilogies, quadrilogies, whatever, and then they come back 20 years later and they just call it the Star Wars or something like that.
But
Yeah, like the reboot or...
the Star Wars was the very first Star Wars.
I know, but they do it again because they can't think of another one.
Okay, others do that. Yeah,
It's
like
like-
the Predator.
It's like, yeah, like The Predator or just Friday the 13th or Halloween, even though there were multiple before it.
Many.
Now it's the Halloween.
Now it's the MDcast episode.
Yep, this is the reboot. We're all played by different actors.
Yep, I'm played by Tyler.
I'm
Tyler's played
by
by also Tyler, and Kyle is played by Tyler.
This is just the schizo episode.
I
couple
think
of
they all
those.
are.
Oh.
Ever since we devolved as human beings, that's just been every episode.
I don't think we ever evolved.
We've always been at the bottom of the food chain.
We are like the little plankton.
Even a rat survives.
What?
Yeah. So, we watched Jojo Rabbit
That we did.
on Disney Plus.
Yeah, it was my favorite Disney property about Nazis.
Donald Duck was hailing Hitler in an old cartoon. I remember it.
That is true.
Donald Duck was a Nazi.
Yeah, he sure was.
He also said the N-word.
No, that was Foghorn Leghorn
Oh.
from Bugs Bunny or Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Big Chicken Man.
Who was your favorite Looney Tune?
I really like Daffy Duck.
You like that, Daffy?
I like the Martian.
Marvin
the Martian?
He was
I
always,
have
were
a
always
picture of Queen Tyranny on my wall
it was always funny seeing
from
him.
the Duck Dodgers cartoon.
That was a good cartoon.
That was a good cartoon. I always liked Sam and Ralph.
That cartoon had no right to have such a fucking slapper of an intro. Just for such a shit show.
What do you mean?
Duck Dodgers or Looney Tunes?
Duck Dodgers.
I don't remember that much of Duck Dodgers.
Like where he
honestly.
basically just became like a fucking Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Like they gave him like the whole James Bond type intro.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, it went fucking hard for no reason.
It was its own reward.
So,
But it was a good show.
what did you guys think of Jojo Rabbit? Because I already watched it prior to that. I actually watched it in theaters.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. Fucking Jew lady went pretty hard at the beginning there. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. She's a crazy Jew.
What do you mean?
Cause like
The
she
one
just
that lives in the cupboard when she was
like she didn't like with this 10-year-old kid. She didn't spare a single second in being like, I eat babies, dude. I eat babies. I kill people.
Because it was a kid.
Yeah, but it's
Feeding
like,
into the kid's fucking delusion, thinking like trying to fucking prevent him from actually like fucking killing her or selling her
Yeah,
out.
but maybe I'm just like true Hitler Youth. But I don't know if someone like put a knife to my fucking throat and said I eat babies and I'm gonna cut your head off. I'd probably like the second she's out of my face, I'd be out that door and I'd be like, oh no, there's a Jew, it's gonna eat me.
But like the mom said, he was older for his age, so he knew the ramifications. Especially since she did threaten that she would tell the Gustav or whatever, like, oh yeah, they were in line with me this whole time. They'll die too, right?
I suppose. And
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, yeah.
She did make it known that would happen. She would tell the mom or one way or another, everybody would die.
And I suppose, I think about it, I'm like, well, I mean, would they actually believe the person who turned them in? Or, like, at least the kid?
Well, like the
I mean, with the mom, it would be true.
like with the tall, lanky guy.
Yeah, Mr. Gestapo.
Yeah, he literally said like, "Oh yeah, we'll kill everyone, then kill the
Yeah, they
neighbors,
did.
just to make sure."
But
Dr.
I'm mainly
Gestapo.
talking about it at the beginning. By then, it was all kind of, like, fleshed out at the end. But regardless, it hardly matters. I was just thinking, like, wow, she really goes hard on this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But man,
it was fun acting.
And you gotta think about, too, like, it is a 10-year-old kid with a
Yeah.
knife to his throat.
Well, and that's the thing, right? That's kind of where the kind of discrepancy is for me, because it's like, I was a fucking idiot when I was 10. Even if I was threatened, I probably wouldn't think through it much. I'd probably just run off and...
I probably wouldn't even get to the point of being threatened. As soon as I found out there was somebody living in my walls, I'd be like, okay.
new friend.
yeah.
But even then, it's not like he tried to hide it.
Well, I mean, it's not that he tried to hide it. He just didn't tell anyone because he was afraid of.
He
the
didn't tell
ramifications.
anyone directly, but he was like screaming help that there is a Jew in my house.
It was that kid thing where you're like,
It's like, there's a man
okay.
in the woods.
It's
Yeah.
like, okay, in this hypothetical scenario, I'm not saying it's a true scenario,
Exactly.
but if this were the case, like, I don't think that was him trying to, like, convey the message. I think that was just literally him trying to find more information to deal with it himself without, like, spilling the beans. But, of course, it's one of those kid inquiries, so, of course, it spills the beans.
Mm-hmm.
But it just so happens that the person he was talking to wasn't exactly a bad dude.
Yeah.
But you know what's sad?
What?
The mother got hung.
Yeah, that was the sad part.
Even though I tapped Kyle on the shoulder yet again and pointed at the screen after JoJo collapsed crying and said, "That's the funny part."
That is the funny part.
I kind of, like, this might be fucked up, but I kind of wish we saw why.
Why she got hung?
Yeah.
Well, she was conspiring with...
Well, yeah, we know she was conspiring, but we didn't see, like, the Gustav or whatever, like, take her in and be like, oh, you're conspiring.
Well, and I mean, that's kind
I
of...
don't feel like that would be necessary.
That's the kind of thing... Well, and part of it, of course, part of the thing is the shock value of it. Like, literally, he stumbled across his own mother. And there are so many shots. And this is kind of like a cinematography thing. There were so many shots where you see JoJo and you see his mother nearby on a higher elevation, so you only see, like, her legs and her shoes. And you see, like, at the
Yeah.
pool, you see her when she's, like, standing on the little ledge talking to him,
Yeah.
you see her shoes, and it puts a lot of focus on that.
As well as when they're walking on the path and she's on the stones and he's down on the
Yeah.
walkway.
And they pull a lot of attention to that. So, of course, in that final bit where he looks up and he sees that exact same angle and that exact same shot, but she's hung, it was a clever way to do it. But, you know, it was a big thing was the shock value of it. And it also could be said that in that kind of situation, people get caught and hung for all sorts of reasons, you know. maybe not even like justifiable reasons. It just happens. Like, it doesn't really matter what caught them. Like,
You stole bread.
Yeah, she's trying to take
Yeah.
an extra piece of bread.
like, and the thing is, because a lot of, you know, there are so many people hung there. She was just one of many, and you'll notice they were all faceless. You never see any of their faces because it doesn't matter who they are. They were just people who have now been hung, and no one cares. So like these at the beginning, Jojo looks at all these hanging bodies that we never see the face of, and it's like, who are these people? I don't care who these people are because they're just like Jews or Jew sympathizers that got hung. His mom is now one of them. Like, she is exactly the same as all the rest of them, but now he cares.
That was also another nice detail where we just slowly see him actually begin to care and stray away from the Nazi way.
Yeah, the
away from the programming,
the development.
We just see Hitler getting angrier and angrier.
I think, don't quote me on it, but I think the guy playing Hitler was actually the director of that movie too. He's done a lot of other movies.
I think so. I remember hearing something about that.
He's a good director. I really like him.
Though, from seeing the commercials for that movie, the movie was completely different than I thought it would be.
I thought it was going to have more of a focus on him and his relationship with not Hitler.
Yeah, same here.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that is because when I heard about the movie, the main thing I heard about it was it's a Hitler Youth kid who has Hitler as his imaginary friend.
I feel that's the thing, though. I feel like that's just the easiest way to describe it.
It is.
It's ridiculous when put into thought.
Yeah, and I mean, especially because I had because before it started, I read the little description, little one-line description tagline, and it's like, oh, he's a Hitler Youth kid, and he finds his mother is hiding a Jew. And then it has to point out this is a World War II satire movie. Like, it's a satire comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that description, Hitler Youth finds out his mom is harboring a Jew, that's not funny. If you told me that was the point of the movie, I would think this is a fairly serious movie.
But Kyle, that's the funny part.
That's the funny.
Yeah.
You see, it's kind of a funny Jew. But yeah. So I mean, it makes sense to explain it as kid has imaginary Hitler friend because that's more whimsical. That's funnier.
Yeah.
But what did I think of it? I think it was a pretty solid movie. It was nice. It was fun.
It was pretty good.
It was fun until it was sad.
Yeah,
I wouldn't watch it again, I'll be honest.
I feel that's the kind of movie you don't need to watch again unless you want to
Yeah.
go and catch
Like
the
small
details of it.
details.
And I mean, they did have some fun attention to detail in it that I liked. Some good stuff. They cared.
They did. I liked all the jokes with the clones.
The fucking corner.
Go give that American a hug. Pulls the pin on the back of his grenade.
I'm so glad she fucking died.
Why do you hate her? Why do you hate Fat Amy so much?
She was just so fucking annoying.
Well, because she was supposed to be. Her character was that she was just that.
She was just there and weird.
She was that weird German lady.
She was just a really annoying fucking
She's
character.
like, she's like, oh yeah, my brother got hypnotized by a Jew.
It was her father.
Her father.
And it was her brother that got eaten by Russians.
Ah, right. It was fun.
Good. Now, we have exhausted our topics, and we need to wait for the drugs to kick in.
Here's the next 30 minutes of silence.
Well, we can preface it by our last experience.
Oh yes, Kyle. We watched the Evil Dead.
Listen.
And Kyle, he just got so excited by it that he just started bouncing up and down, and he was like, "Evil Dead, Evil Dead, Evil Dead," and he threw up.
We have to preface it properly.
Proper.
Eric said, because I think watching The Evil Dead was a punishment.
Well,
I don't remember for what, though.
That's the funny thing, because the end of the last podcast, you literally say on record, do you want to just end the podcast and go watch another movie? We say sure, and then we end the podcast. so then we need to decide what to watch. We sit around for another 10 to 20 minutes, because that's just how we do. The room's shifting around me, and Tyler does some gang rat shit or something, and Eric looks at him and says, we're watching the Evil Dead remake as punishment for your crime. times. So we go to watch that. It was a little freaky.
I don't remember what I did.
I don't either.
I don't either.
But
I've apologized multiple times.
I think it was because in the last podcast, I kept on saying, "Oh yeah, future Eric will deal with it."
Yeah, we did that a lot in that podcast. We will retroactively apologize to future Eric, but not this future Eric, because this is future Eric from that future Eric. No, we're not going back into this. So yeah, we had a fun movie. I had a bad time with the drugs. I was not nutritionalized that day, and the only consumption I had was 3 cans of Crush, each one a different flavor.
Because that's the important part.
This is some water, and then Cheetos, which I am not sure how many I ate, because I lost track after the first one.
That bag was gone by the end of the night.
So, now, and here's the funny thing. We're watching the Evil Dead remake, which is, of course, massive bloody movie, and there's a bit in it where a woman just starts puking up blood because of possession shit. And then I go in and I start fucking throwing up all over fucking Eric's toilet. And guess what color it is? Because of what I've consumed that night.
That wasn't even the part you started puking at.
I puked before it, actually, I think.
You puked at the part where the guy was reading the book, summoning the demon. So it had the scene where it was like just the camera going through the forest, like really at a fast pace, just like bobbing and weaving.
Mm-hmm.
And the heroine lady was staring out at the forest, and she sees something, and she's just like, ah, and it fucking just right into her fucking mouth, and she just goes, and all we hear from the bathroom is, you guys could not have perfectly timed that, bro. Because like as Eric and I are watching it, we're like, why
She's not throwing up anymore. What the fuck's going on?
Yeah, why are we still hearing puking sounds?
I was
like,
possessed.
oh shit, Kyle.
I became a deadite. But it was a terrible coloration because of just what I was consuming at the time. And I look at it and I'm like, am I dying?
Was I possessed?
I sit there like, am I dying? And I didn't want to mention it because I figured Eric would like jump up and be like, go to a hospital! And I didn't want to go to a hospital.
It's just the moment where he fucking comes out of the bathroom with the fucking gat toilet brush, eyes yellow, like,
I am here to clean your shit, bro. But yeah.
What are you doing, step bro?
But yeah, I actually remember some key moments in that movie, but I was like half falling asleep through it. And I was just so out of it. And I just remember various parts. I remember the box cutter scene.
Which one? There's a lot.
The one where she licked it.
Yep.
I remember...
Stop touching the wood with your fucking foot! I can hear it.
Schizo. I remember the arm cutting off scene. I remember the lady who lost her jaw. The one where her arm was infected and she cuts off her arm, but then it fucking gets her anyway.
Yeah.
That was pretty freaky. The part where the person had to get her head bashed in because she was missing a jaw, and she's like,
oh, fucking nurse lady.
The first lady.
Yeah.
I don't remember any of their characteristics.
The one that stabbed the guy in the eye with the heroin needle.
Yeah, I remember fucking Joe Stoner or whoever the fuck who read from the book, and he's like, oh, blah blah, and he gets like shot with nails and stuff, and he's like, I am nailed to my fucking chest with my hand, and
he said that verbatim.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said, and then he got fucking dead.
Dude, I'm fucking nailed.
Dude, I am literally fucking nailed, dude. Nailed. What the hell?
I fucking hated that guy.
Honestly, like, you know, he was like cool in the end of it as like he was like trying to
tried to be the savior.
And like he did go through a lot of bad shit, but like why would you bring that guy on a detox trip for a heroin addict?
Yeah.
Like that is the last person you want to be around. It's like, oh, you're addicted to mushrooms or something. We got to help wean you off of it. Let's bring the craziest person we know other than you.
Like there was really no reason for him to be there.
He was just a friend. He's like, oh yeah, come along, I'll help. And then I'm gonna read from the Necronomicon.
I'm gonna read from the bad book, dude.
Yeah, the bad book.
But you know what was a really cool detail, in my opinion, with that
What?
movie? Was, the whole point of the demon, like, you need to sacrifice 5 people to it.
Yeah.
And only 4 people died in that, like, friend group. But you see in the very beginning of the girl that was there before who was burnt alive.
Yeah, the
She
initial
counted as, like,
possessed lady.
Yeah, she counted as the first sacrifice.
That's pretty crazy.
Because, like, towards the end of the fucking movie, the actual demon comes out of the ground. And I was, like, wondering, like, how? How the fuck did that happen? Only 4 died. But I was like, oh, yeah, the lady in the beginning.
I remember you mentioning that. You're like, oh, that's the 5th one. And I'm like, yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
I also do remember the ending where it started raining blood and where she actually, like, fought the demon lady and had to rip off her hand because of the truck.
Yeah.
That part was the part where I'm kind of like, oh, that's kind of grody.
Because that's funny, because in the original, he loses his hand.
He cuts it off.
Yeah.
And it's funny because in the original, that was the second movie.
That was the second one?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the funny thing, because the first Evil Dead movie was actually fairly, like, straight. It was fairly serious. And it ends with Ash being the only one alive in the cabin. The second movie is where it kind of went, like, kind of comedic, where it's him going insane in the cabin. And that's the one where he actually, like, cuts off his hand. That's the one where he puts a chainsaw on and goes, groovy.
Yeah.
It was just funny, because, like, they tried to mirror the old Evil Dead movies. Like, her name was Ashley.
Yeah, her name was Ashley.
She was wearing blue, like he was wearing blue in the old movie.
And they kind of had the fake out, because the guy who you'd think is supposed to be Ash in the remake is, because he's wearing blue and he's, like, the handsome guy.
Yeah.
He wasn't. Fucking dies at the end.
Yeah.
You know, but he had a fucking badass moment, though. I respect him.
Where God zapped a bush and then he buried his sister.
I don't think God zapped the bush.
Lightning.
But it was a neat movie from what I remember of it.
What do you think you guys would do if we became Deadites?
I think I'd probably do some torment shit, like Deadite stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we all become Deadites?
No,
or
just
like,
one of us.
Oh, just one of us.
Yeah.
Okay, well, who becomes the Deadite?
Listen.
Because I can imagine
Okay,
Tyler
who do you think
becoming
would
a
be the
Deadite,
most-
He just starts coming out as like,
I think Eric would be the first one.
I think he would.
Or he's already the Deadite.
Eric's the kind of person to become a Deadite and scalp himself and say, now I'm really bald.
And just continue to live like that. He wouldn't even fucking kill us.
He progressively takes off more bits of his flesh. Just continues
Just
doing
flaying
fucking weird
myself.
stuff. He's the kind of guy to fucking, like, punch his hand through a wall, take out a rat, and start eating it.
That's his fucking breaking point. He becomes a Deadite, just hears the fucking in the fucking ceiling, just
Becomes a hellish creature.
But I feel like if a Deadite did possess him, Eric's like fucking soul would be like resisting, but like at the same time be like, hey man, we should work together, and he just lives in harmony with it.
I'm just bargaining.
Bipolar.
That's nothing new.
No, he's
bargaining.
tripolar.
Bargaining with my demons.
Pretty much.
It's like, all right, I can give you control on like Tuesdays, but like at least show up to work.
D&D.
Meanwhile, Tuesday rolls around and you show up to work and you start hacking people up with a fucking scissors.
And then the demon comes in and it's like, dude, what are you doing? I'm not even in charge right now.
Demon comes in like, what the fuck, dude?
How am I gonna fucking clean this up?
You've already killed 5 people. I don't need any more. What the fuck are you
Like,
doing?
we're good, dude. Like, relax.
Stop killing all those
Chill,
people,
bro.
Oh.
What was someone gonna say?
I don't know.
Listen, if Eric was the first one to become a Deadite, how do you think he would kill us?
Violently.
Which page do you think Eric would do first?
What do you mean, which page?
Because each page was like a different way to kill someone
Oh, okay.
for the sacrifice. Which one do you think Eric would do?
Well, what
Well,
ones
those were
there?
like expelling, how to expel the demon as well.
What?
Pretty sure that they were how to expel the demon.
No, it was just different ways the demon would kill you. Like, one of them was,
There was burning alive.
No, yes, that was one of them, the ways to expel the demon, to, like, kill it.
Yeah, there was
But
boiling.
the
was
other-
boiling water. There was burning alive, which she was trying to do to herself. She was trying to boil it out of her when she was taking the hot shower,
Yeah.
but it didn't work.
Ah.
Yeah, so there were like the ways to get rid of it, and there were all the other pages of.
But yeah, the other pages, one was someone with their jaw in their hand, which we saw with the black lady.
With the lady, yeah.
Then the other one was she was missing an arm, which we saw with the other lady.
Okay, yeah.
Then what was the other one? They all died.
Was there one for getting nails in you?
I think she was just crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that one was specific. I think she was just trying to kill them.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember what the ways in the book were.
They all had to die in a specific way, because as he's reading it, he's just seeing all the different ways that these people would inevitably die.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't remember any of those ways, but, I mean, frankly, there's no shortage of ways Eric could kill us in this house. I feel like he'd just take a heavy object and hit us with it repeatedly.
He would take the fucking headpiece from the fucking thing. It's like, it's time, friends. I'm sorry.
Oh, the wood carved skeleton Elvis.
Yeah. He just walks through the door. It's like, I'm sorry, it's time, friends.
I'd kill you with the fucking lava lamp.
See, Tyler, it's moving! Boom, boom!
You just break it over our heads, just, like, start stabbing us with it, and just leak the goop into our fucking, like, mouth or something.
That would be scary, though. I don't know how I would react if one of you guys became a Deadite and we were on a camping trip or something.
I don't know either, man.
I feel like if I was the one to become the Deadite, I'd, like, just open up the door, stand there, stare at you two, and just go, just stare at you guys.
We would just think it was normal.
Yeah, this would be nothing new.
I wouldn't even do anything. I'd just be staring at you two.
I feel like you're the kind of guy to just to give, like, one of those bear hugs where you snap someone's spine in half.
Yes. I'd be like, hey, Eric, I need a hug, man. You just hear a loud crunch as I fold Eric like a foldable chair.
I don't want to think about killing my friends.
How would you do it, Kyle?
I'd probably be just excessively violent about it.
You know what I would imagine? Fucking Kyle's in his, like, room at the fucking cabin. He fucking becomes a Deadite. He just comes out of his room, and Eric's just at the end of the hall just staring at him. And they're just you two are just staring at each other. He's just like...
Just nodding furiously.
Bull straight for you. Just like...
Just start coming at you like...
I would just love to imagine I see that. I just see you running at Eric. I just go...
like it's a long hallway. I'm at one end, Eric's at the other. There's a couple doors along the way, and I just start bull
Like,
rushing
it's
towards
the
them, and
part
then
of-
just a door creaks open like halfway through, and you just come out. Bam!
It's like the part of, it's the part of the that would be it if you were the first one to get turned. That would be the part of the story where, like, you've already fucked us up, like you've like hit me and Tyler with a knife a bit or something, or like bitten one of us, like we're all hurting, but we like restrain you in the basement and you somehow get out. Kyle is like, or Tyler's unconscious in the other room, and like I just hear you like creaking out, and I just see you standing at the end of the hallway, and I have a box cutter in my hand, and I'm just waiting for you to come at me. And I'm like, I'm just getting ready to shadow box, and you start running at me, and then Tyler wakes up, opens the door, and like
Delivered the punch.
You just go flying and just slide right into Eric. But listen,
I choose to imagine it's like a downward punch, and I do a wave moment where my feet are still on the floor, my face hits the floor, and then my legs kick up before I fucking
literally
fall.
make you do a whole ass 180.
I'm thinking about you doing a barrel roll because he'd hit you at a downward arc, you'd spin, and then your like chin and like shoulder would hit the wall, and then you would kind of like cartwheel
Just
onto
like
the ground.
spinning
Yeah.
torpedo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just,
If I ever try to kill you, make me do some crazy spins or something.
it's just what I imagine. Like, I fucking just go, and you just slide to air. The next thing your body just starts shaking, you just fucking bite his ankles.
Just incessantly start shaking. I already just randomly convulse.
You would kill one of us by throwing up acid on us.
Yeah.
Probably.
You kill my grass and then you kill me.
You'd like walk into the
It's
room
one of
and
the signs.
you'd walk into the room like something smells awful. You're like, what the fuck? And you just see me in my hand, like the flesh on my hand is just like steaming and melted off because I've just been sticking my fingers down my throat.
God,
and then I fucking come over, I grab you, and I just start doing it again.
That's a visceral thought, man. That's
Vile.
That's fucking wicked.
Yeah, man.
Oh, we already know what the thumbnail's gonna be.
Ugh.
That reminds me of, like, probably my favorite part of Angel Beats, where, like, I can't even remember the girl's name, but she's, like, throwing fireballs at a hell scythe, and, like, she's...
Is this a zombie?
Oh, yeah, that's right. What did I say it was?
Angel Beats.
Oh, yeah. I was looking at the poster.
Ah.
Yeah. Is this a zombie? She was throwing fireballs at hell scythe, and, like, her hands, because she was in such close proximity, they kept getting burned. And she just kept throwing fireballs.
Yeah.
I like that part.
That one had some fucking moments.
I like the boob.
Alright. Here's the ultimate question.
Yeah.
One of us is a deadite.
Okay.
Alright.
You know the way to purge it. Which one are you going with?
Okay, like just one of the methods?
Yeah.
What were the methods? 'Cause
Boiling,
burning,
dismemberment.
dismemberment?
Well, like you saw when like one of their hands was like getting turned. That's one of them. Or that might have been how to like, or one of the symptoms of it, because they were like cutting their faces off and shit.
Yeah.
It was bullying. Whatever.
Bullying.
Yeah.
Get out,
Ugly.
demon! Fucking loser!
Fucking deadite ass.
Burning or burying.
Fair.
The 3 B's.
So burn, boil, or bury?
Yeah.
BBB.
I don't like any because they're so rude. They're so mean.
But you gotta think yourself in that situation. Your
I'd
best
be
friend is trying to kill you.
I'd
And
be
you know
okay
he's
if one of you guys
corrupted.
boiled me. I'd be fine with being a hamburger person.
I would probably.
I don't think it'd be that easy.
What?
Because, like, that whole method, I never truly understood it. Because I think at that point, you would need to, like, you know, like the brazen bull type shit.
Yeah, the brass bowl.
You need to lock them in it.
Well, that's practically steaming someone.
But, like, I'm using that as an example. Like, you know, lock them in something, fill it up with boiling water.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like, it would be like with the whole shower scene.
And I think
The thing is, too, that got interrupted as well. They did stop her.
that is true. I would say burning partially because I think it would be like the quickest. Like light someone on fire. Like it wouldn't be quick. It wouldn't be painless. But you know, it would be quicker than like trying to boil someone, or because of the logistics of it, and you know, trying to bury someone. But also, it's just more feasible. Like it's easy. I think it's easier to set someone on fire than it is to find enough boiling water to actually like boil them with it, and actually like digging a hole and then burying someone. That would take a while.
Like your friend's going crazy, killing your other friend, and you're outside digging a hole.
Yeah, you know, I am a dwarf. I'm
Distract
digging a hole.
them.
Like I feel, I feel like it would just be easier. It's like, all right, fucking light you on fire. Now, of course, the risk is because I
die.
know, I know you would do this if you were a deadite. I light you on fire, and you start sprinting at me. Because now I've got a crazy man, and he's on fire.
Listen, I'd take one for the team. I'd hug him.
Tyler, no!
The
You sit
demon
there
was
like,
expelled
"I
with
must
love."
do this."
Because ain't no way I'm losing my grip in that fight.
What if you're on fire, though? What if I'm on fire? What if we're both on fire?
I ain't losing.
I think it would be best if you guys just killed me.
But the whole point is you can't kill whoever the Deadite is unless you kill in the 3 ways.
What? I think that book was written before they had the use of guns. It's like that one scene in Buffy where she shoots the guy with a rocket launcher.
I never watched Buffy myself.
You think you are immortal? Woo!
No weapon can kill me. It's been a few thousand years.
Well, it's like that. It reminds me of that Robot Chicken skit where it's the dude's walking in the woods and a werewolf pops out. So he just starts. He just shoots the werewolf, and he's like, you can't kill me. You don't have a silver bullet. So he pulls out a minigun and mulches him, and it goes through this whole thing where he fucking snorts him, shits him out, and he gets put in like the sewage. It's like. And it's like a dungeon master playing Dungeons and Dragons. It's like, he's still not dead! You need silver!
Yeah, because at the end, like, he was just a talking piece of shit.
He was just a piece of shit. He's like, he should be dead now. No, you need silver to kill a werewolf. It's like, nah, just give us some time. We'll find a way.
Y'all have any dreams?
I think I did at one point, but by God, I don't know what happened anymore.
Same
All I know
here.
is that it was trippy, and I think someone like you, either one of you, was involved.
I had a dream recently as well, but I can't really remember it either.
Did I tell the one that I had on the last podcast that I scribbled down?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'll just say it now because also the case if I don't remember. There is one that I have that I remember, but I don't know if I should tell it.
Beautiful.
So, here's just what I wrote down as I, whipped my big dumb watermelon head around in my bed, grabbed my phone, and just feverishly typed it in so that I could say it for the next episode. Now it means nothing to me. But biohazard in a Walmart. Zombie is break.
This one.
Find out we're all infected. After infection, bombing. Start drinking to celebrate. Begin hooking up with girl. Find out girl is powered by rats. For 2D platformer and Dream Shift.
That's the one you sent me, isn't it?
I think so.
I just randomly get a message at fucking 3 a.m. or whatever the fuck, and I'm like, okay, man.
Do you remember Three Tards?
Yeah.
Three Tards production.
The fuck's that?
So a lot of the time, out of habit, I'll message Kyle in the middle of the night if I have a dream too, and no context or anything because I just send it fast enough so that I don't have to fully wake up and I can just go back.
Yeah,
to
he
sleep.
sends me disjointed dreams and then he just goes back to bed. So I have to just sit with whatever he's told me.
You just have to fucking decipher it.
In Three Tards production, I sent him at 3 a.m. and Three Tards production was just a dream that I had where it was the three of us sitting at a big long table and we were like the Warner Brothers and we were making a production company.
Three Tards production. We should put that on a
Retard
shirt.
shit and farts.
What?
We should put that on a shirt.
Three Tards. I don't know if we can.
We can.
I mean, we can. It's just we probably shouldn't. But the other dream I had was Kyle just all of a sudden he's exclusively only drew My Little Pony porn.
I remember you telling me about this.
And it was getting concerning because
didn't we go into a deep conversation oh my God, I think the last thing I want for Kyle is for him to start turning out like me.
I didn't know what to say to that one, so I'm like, damn, was it at least good? And he's like, yeah, it was good, but why?
it was very well done. You didn't do the donut assholes, but they weren't like humanified at all.
Yeah, they were just as they were. And you just said like, oh, yeah, you did all kinds of characters. You did like the main ones. You did Pinky and Twilight, and did some like bat ponies.
Yeah,
I'm like, what the
like
fuck
that's
is a
that's
bat
the
pony?
one part that I remember the most. You had like hundreds of bat pony OCs. Like, okay, here's what it looked like. I couldn't put it very well in text, but like I walked into your room because like your mom called me and said he's not coming out of his room and I'm getting worried. I think he needs a friend, so I get
That's
Tyler,
just how it is already.
and I go in your room and it's like the fucking scene in Aliens Covenant where like it's just the big Geiger room. And it's just walls upon walls of bat pony OCs. All with their big red pussy spread. And like I just walk in there and like it's completely dark and like my shadow's just being thrusted into the room, and I just see your head turn around and your fucking red eyes looking back at me.
Pony Goblin.
Listen, this is what Eric sent to me when he told me about this dream. I had a dream last night. Kyle started drawing only My Little Pony porn. I was worried for him. I was like, "Lol, you saw Kyle descend to the Eric madness." I'd be horrified if Kyle started acting like me. I said, "Lol, I think it would be funny." Could you handle 2 Erics rambling about nothing at once? I'm not sure if I could or couldn't. Depends on what you're rambling about. The same thing as always. Absolute bullshit or stuff that doesn't even matter or change anything. I said, because if Kyle catches on to what you're doing, he tends to follow it anyways. That is true.
I do that. Yeah.
I messaged him, listen, want to see something vile? He said, sure. Sorry, couldn't respond D&D. I said, all good, and I'm going to show him the video, but...
Okay. What?
Do you not remember back in, like, 2018, 2017, the whole guy beating his dick with McChicken?
Oh, that's what that was.
Yeah, that was the original video. But
I never watched the original, honestly. I avoided it.
It was just a fucking huge ass thing in like the early years of like 2018.
I remember it was a big thing. I just also don't
Fucking
remember it
funny.
today. I don't fucking watch it.
Wonder how that guy's doing these days.
Probably just chilling.
Legend has it he owns a farm.
Because it was so funny, because even at the time, YouTubers were talking about it, so it just gained more traction.
Gets around.
I wonder when they're gonna actually come out with that meme movie they were talking about.
Emoji movie?
No, meme. No, not a fucking emoji movie. That's already out.
Wreck-It Ralph
No.
Breaks the Internet?
No, it was literally just called the meme movie.
A movie about memes.
I know, I'm making fucking jokes, Kyle.
I'm making fucking jokes, Kyle.
Give me the fucking one time I can make a joke.
Tyler, you can always
Okay.
make jokes.
Say something funny.
I can't, I'm not funny.
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
I'm not creative.
You think that's funny? Like some kind of clown? Some kind of clown? Oh.
You know, I have a problem.
Yeah?
We have many of problems
No,
there.
let me tell you another one. I can't stop looking at people's faces and looking at their noses and seeing that one little like hover bike thing, whatever. I can't remember what it was. It was the Wraith or the Phantom from Halo. You know, the little bike thing.
Oh my fucking
Banshee.
god!
The Banshee.
No! The
Banshee's a
ghost.
flying Ghost, that's what it is.
The fucking ghost.
I can't stop.
I can see it now. You've ruined my fucking life, Eric.
Why would you do this?
It's very troublesome.
I think you're right. I think it is the Banshee, like the flying shit.
The Banshee is the one that flies.
Yeah, I can see that with the nose. Not the ghost.
Kind of.
It's like 50-50.
Yeah, 50-50 Ghost.
That was a fast podcast moment.
Yeah.
Not
Very
again.
fast podcast moment.
Not again.
Not again.
Not again.
Not again. Not again. Not again.
I just like to talk fast just so people don't have time to consider what I'm even saying.
I hate when you do that.
I know, it's great.
Because my brain is slow.
I can't talk fast. I still have a stutter from when I was a kid. That's why I talk like a fucking old computer.
It's why I
trying to
don't
boot up.
talk at all. Because whenever I do stutter or pronounce a word wrong, both ears like, what are you fucking retarded?
This is where my parnets died. Parents. Parnets.
My parents' parents.
I do that, man. I've explained that before.
I know.
You
And
have.
Tyler, believe me, I love it.
I
would
do
honestly
you guys hear me when I do that?
Yes,
Yes.
we do.
Fuck!
No, Tyler, please keep doing it. I love it.
Like, I'll fucking pronounce a word wrong, and like, they'll make fun of me, but then I just say it properly under my fucking breath.
Like, it's a quirk of yours that I have just come to love, and I feel like I would be upset if it was
I
gone.
didn't know you guys could hear that.
There are times when I can't, but I do hear it at times.
It like we hear it the most when we're playing video games, and like you're close to the microphone.
Oh. I'm never playing video games with you guys again.
We're running out of them, so
Yeah, we finished Magica 2.
Yes, I convinced these people to play Magica 2.
Only for us to like beat it 3 days later.
Well, because it's a really short game.
Also very cheap.
Yeah.
I'd say it was
Yeah.
worth it. I had fun. It was a good game.
It
I'd
was
have to buy it.
I've always said Magic is a fucking great game. I wish we could play the first one, but that one's only on PC. So we had to move on to something else.
Yeah, Monster Hunter for some odd fucking reason.
It's because we couldn't find fucking anything else.
I want to talk about that now. This is a direct threat to PlayStation. Or no, this is a criticism. This is not a threat. That comes later.
Yeah.
When they don't do something about it, which they won't.
Yeah.
Listen, there's probably a lot of not necessarily strictly 4-player games out there. It's just a lot of them are multiplayer, but they don't fucking actually like put that down.
Most definitely. But there should be a 4-player section in the PlayStation Store.
Or at least a multiplayer section.
Yes. Because they go into all the different genres. They got your horror, you got your action, but they don't have multiplayer.
Yeah, they don't stipulate multiplayer.
I didn't
games.
even check to see. Did they have party games at least?
There was Party.
Okay.
Because that actually is like a popular genre.
Yeah, it's a popular genre.
And Tyler was looking through all the nude card games.
Listen, man, I was just browsing the fucking game section. It was just all that.
Carousing.
Did I say that wrong?
Perusing.
Yeah, you for some reason you mixed perusing and browsing.
Yeah,
You know what? I like that word more than the other two now.
Browsing.
It sounds like something a cat would say.
I was just carousing.
I've heard people say it like that before.
Are you sure you're just not mishearing people say browsing?
No. Browsing.
Carousing.
Well, you talk to people who also don't know the word.
That's how.
What's the
That's how
actual
words
word
go.
Perusing or browsing.
Perusing. Maybe
Perusing.
I am just retarded.
I had a discussion recently with my mom about the term zeitgeist.
What the fuck's that?
The zeitgeist is it's a thing that is very prevalent in the culture right now. Like trying not to date this, but a certain trial that happened recently is very popular. A lot of people know about it.
Yeah.
It is in the modern zeitgeist.
Like
The trial of that dude.
But
We don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about it.
The fuck does zeitgeist mean?
It's
In the moment?
it's something that's just well known in the modern time. The zeitgeist of this era includes
like
thing.
Oh.
9/11 was a zeitgeist.
Yeah, like 9/11 and its repercussions and how people were reacting to it at the time, that was a big part of the zeitgeist of 2001.
That's a fucking weird ass word.
Yeah, it's German.
Oh, makes sense.
Also, we went on a discussion about how to pronounce it because I say zeitgeist and she's like, what? And she's like, you mean this? I forget how she pronounced it, but it was completely different. I'm like, what? And we start arguing it's pronounced zeitgeist. Like, no, it's not. Doesn't even have a T. I'm like, I'm gonna look this shit up. I look it up and it's spelled zeitgeist. Like,
Well, to be fair, it is another fucking language.
Yeah. Like Zeit?
Zeit. Like Zeit.
Okay.
And Geist.
I was expecting there to be a K.
Nope.
I was like, Zeitgeist! That sounds German.
Anything sounds German if you say it angry enough.
Yeah. Or Russian.
But I mean, honestly, it's a weird word, but it's pronounced pretty much exactly how it sounds. Or it's spelled exactly how it sounds.
Mm-hmm.
So.
If you told me to spell it out on a spelling bee, I'd shit myself.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I fucking hated grade 3.
Yeah, that was a shitty grade.
Fucking...
I didn't like all of public school.
We had the same grade 3 teacher, right?
Yep.
Do you remember, like, every week she'd make us do a spelling test?
Our grade 3 teacher wasn't a she.
Sorry, grade 4.
Oh, now we're in new levels now.
Yeah.
But yes, I do remember her.
I remember unexplored territory.
Yeah, I think we talked about her before because we were the last ones to have her. She left after we got out.
Did you make her leave?
I hope so.
She was a bitch. But anyways, the first week of our grade 4 class, she would give us like 20-word spelling bees. Oh, all easy words. I got a 19 out of 20. You want to know what the last fucking word was?
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious?
No, because.
I think you mentioned that one before when we talked about because.
For some odd fucking reason, my brain could not spell because.
Have I told the horse story, Toaster, on the podcast?
No.
No.
Okay, I'm pretty sure this was in public school. So it's really just for us. I'm not sure if you did this at your school, but like at around grade 8 or something, maybe grade 7, we had a field trip where we basically went and rode horses.
Yes.
Nope.
So
wait,
we couldn't be trusted.
Am I allowed to mention places?
Just say Horse Ranch.
Oh, so I remember the name of the place.
Okay, I don't, but it doesn't matter. This is a thing that our school had done fairly often.
Yeah.
And so my brother, who is 2 years ahead of me, he did it before me. And I remember he comes back with this story. He's like, oh yeah, I had this, the horse I rode was named Toaster. And it was an awful horse. It was temperamental and would not do what you want it to do and was terrifying to ride on. And he's like, if you ever go on that field trip, I sure hope they don't give you a Toaster. 2 years later, they're telling everyone what horse they're getting. They look at me, and you got Toaster. And I sit there for a sec. I think they noticed my hesitation because they're like, "Is everything all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, everything's fine."
Yeah.
And sure enough, it was kind of a temperamental horse. And I remember they said at the time, they're like, "You got to make sure you have good control of him because he's a feisty one." I'm like, oh no.
Oh no.
I'm going to he's gonna run off into the woods and clothesline me on a fucking tree branch or something.
Man, do you remember the fucking trip to the snow mountain?
Yes.
Like to ski.
Yeah.
You guys got to do a lot more cool stuff than my school did.
Listen, we got lucky.
Yeah, we just had some
grade 8
events.
Everything was canceled.
Yeah.
But
a lot of things didn't happen in grade 8.
I think it was like grade 6 or grade 7 we went on that trip, and basically just to to learn how to ski and stuff like that. Like we learned all the different positions, learned how to ride it. And one of the things, to get to the top of the mountain, you had to walk up a diagonal path pretty much. But at one of the points, it goes into a slope. 4 kids fell into it. I think I was one of them as well. Well, that's not even the worst bit. When we actually finally do get to the top and, like, go down the actual mountain, I fucking flipped. And the skis just stabbed right into me.
Fucking stabbed yourself with your skis.
And I was like, after that, I'm never fucking skiing again.
Man, I wish I went to your guys' school. Mine just took us to like this place where like we look at how people would act in the old times. And
we
it
went
was
on those trips.
yes, but those are the only ones we went on.
I miss
the only like fun trip that we ever went on was like grade 7 year end, which we went to Niagara Falls, and then grade 8 when we went to Toronto and we stayed in a hotel.
But here's the thing. At our school, they never trust us to leave London.
Yeah.
Our most of the time, our end of the year field trip was East Park.
Usually was, yeah.
Nice.
The only time we ever got to leave London, like through a field trip, was if you were a part of the band, and like you'd go to Toronto, play there, or you'd go to like Canada's Wonderland.
Yeah, we went to Canada's Wonderland because I was in the band.
Yeah, of course you're the only fucking tuba player.
That's how you reach the top. Be the only one.
Be the only one.
Make sure there is no competition.
I killed everyone else.
I did join you in tuba in the end, but our school only had 3 tubas, and one of them was like super moldy.
It is old ancient tuba. I still played it because I thought it was funny.
My school had an obscene amount of tubas. But we
Maybe
had
they stole our tubas.
we had 1 saxophone.
It was the weirdest thing because we had like 2 saxophones. We of course the common ones were trumpet, baritone,
Clarinet.
flute, and clarinet. We had like 1 French horn that someone played, like 2 tubas that were in decent shape, and then the like really old one.
Yeah.
I played trombone. Trombone was fun.
There were trombones as well. I've told it before, but I've mentioned that I initially played trumpet, and then teacher said you can't do that. You're too bad at this.
You're too bad at trumpet.
Yeah, it's because I could only get like lower notes.
Yeah, you couldn't hit the high notes.
I couldn't hit all the high notes, so she's like, "Why don't you try baritone?" And I'm like, "Okay." So I went to baritone. Then I said, "If I'm going to be lugging around a giant instrument that is bigger than the one I initially wanted, I'm just gonna go all the way. We're going up to tuba."
Nice.
So I went up to tuba. And
That's the spiteful nature I come to appreciate.
well, and it's funny because in those things, like, your only options were trombone, baritone, trumpet, flute, and clarinet. They didn't offer anything else. I just saw the tuba and said, "Can I play that instead?" And she's like, I mean, no
Sure.
one else plays the tuba. I'm like, I want it. She's like, all right, sure. So I was the tuba guy.
You know the one thing I hated about our music class?
Everything.
The teacher never had the right amount of music sheets.
Oh yeah.
Like she
had to share a lot of them.
She just flat out refused to print new ones.
Nice.
It was fucking annoying.
A lot of reuse stuff.
Because like when you look at the music sheet, trumpets and clarinets are basically the same thing, so you can grab either one, but there'd be like half trumpets, half clarinets, so no matter what, someone was sharing.
Did I tell you about my experience doing In the Hall of the Mountain King in the band?
No.
Because it obviously this was like elementary school music education, so it was very simple. They teach you like the basics of reading this sheet music, and they teach you like the most common notes you're going to use.
Yeah.
But they only taught us up to a certain pitch. And I go into the band, and I joined the band because she literally sat down and said, "You're our only tuba player, and you're pretty okay at it. You want to join the band?" I said, "Sure. I got a friend in the band. My brother is in the band. Why not?" So I joined the fucking band. I wasn't particularly passionate about music or anything, so I didn't really care about learning all that much special stuff. And then she's like, "All right, we're going to do In the Hall of the Mountain King." Slaps the fucking page down in front of me. It goes, like, well above everything I've learned. I don't even know the finger movements for this, but no one pointed it out, because I was the only tuba, so whatever I did goes.
Which is really weird, because I think our teacher would have fucking noticed you were, like, off pitch, because, listen, when we were doing songs, like we had like for our class, we had group songs we would do, and whenever someone was like slightly off pitch, she'd go, "Ooh," and point at the fucking person. It's like
She would. Because she'd be like fucking swinging her fucking conductor's baton stick around, and then if something was up, she'd like tune in like a fucking bat listening to the sonar, and then she'd go whoop, and we'd all drop silent, and she'd be like, "You."
She didn't want to be a teacher. She wanted to be an orchestrator.
But yeah, it was always the funniest thing because I didn't know what if I was doing the notes right, and I'm pretty sure in every single practice I did it differently, and no one pointed it out.
I just think since you were playing the tuba, no one really heard you.
I mean, that is
it's
true.
such
No one
a
hears the
low
fucking tuba.
instrument.
Yeah, and that's always the fun thing. It's like, all right, I'm gonna need you to do a low tune, and I'm like, I do the low tune. It's like lower. So I'm sitting there like, all right, you want me to rumble the fucking room? I got you.
I think I don't know if I've said this on the podcast, but I think I told you, our music teacher at public school is together with the one that was at Clark.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
that was yeah, she was the wife of the Clark man.
The one that did the bad stuff.
No,
No,
Okay.
not him.
skinny, beard, black hair.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah,
Yeah, K.
the cool one,
Mhm.
not the diddler.
But yeah, and this one I have told on the podcast before, but it's funny, so I'll say it again. I remember the music teacher saying like, "Are you going to join like music or take music when you get to that high school?" Because she knew I was going to that high school, and I'm like, maybe, yeah, sure, why not? And she's like,
Never
I'll
took
tell
music.
my husband they got a good musician, a good tuba player coming. Never took music.
Why
Never,
would
ever.
you, man?
I was the brass master. I did every single brass instrument.
Brass instruments were the fucking shit. So
My grade 8 year, I don't know if you remember this, but I switched to every fucking genre.
every different instrument.
Yeah, because
I do remember you jumping around a bit.
I don't know what it was. Grade 7, when we started playing our instruments, I was amazing at trumpet. I could do it no problem. I can even hit the fucking high-ass notes. Like, my lung capacity was perfect for it. Come around grade 8, I can't play it at all. So I, straight up told my music teacher, I can't fucking play trumpet anymore. I need to try another one. I go to fucking clarinet. I kept on breaking the fucking wooden bit.
Breaking the reed.
Then I went to flute. Couldn't play flute. Went
That'd be
to
another
baritone.
good band name. Breaking the Reed.
Breaking the reed.
I stuck at
This
baritone.
feels like a folk band,
Yeah,
like neo folk.
Breaking the Reed.
I
It's
stuck
like
at-
metal folk.
Yeah. You can continue.
Sorry.
I stuck at baritone for a while,
Mm.
but I saw you in the back, very lonely.
Very lonely with that tuba.
So I decided to join the tuba squad.
That's how
You
kings are
created
born.
the tuba squad.
I was the second person, so
I considered going into trombone, but it looks like a lot of exercise, so I didn't
yeah,
want
fucking breaking your arm.
Have you seen the trombone exercises?
it. No.
Where you get a whole row of trombone players, and one comes up and then the one beside them, he comes up and turns his head this way, and then the other one goes down,
duck.
and then that one that went down comes back up and then swings to the person beside them.
I have not seen that.
I've seen it.
It's horrifying, dude. You can only imagine the practice of it. Somebody's getting hit in the head at least 5 times.
Probably.
Man, I just remember the what the fuck was it called? What was the event called where each class had to make their own little musical?
Oh, I don't fucking know.
You were the Munchkin.
Oh, the Broadway.
Yeah, the Broadway thing.
Yeah, the best Broadway.
They did something from The Wizard of Oz, and we did We Will Rock You by Queen. And whenever, because we actually auditioned for parts, because 3 people would actually genuinely sing the parts, and then obviously the rest of the class would just be in the background going dun 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 dun, and
But you're a big man, gay man, sucking dick in the
whenever
street.
the guitar riff came off, 3 kids literally from our class jumped off the fucking stage and literally just fucking knee sliding everywhere while fucking playing the air guitar, bro.
Nice.
It was fucking ridiculous.
This reminds me of a person from our school, and I remember this because this happened in music class, but it has nothing to do with music. He was a very athletic guy, like
John Sport.
Yeah, he was John Sport. He was a cyclist, so you might remember him on that.
A zeitgeist.
I think so.
Yeah. He was also really smart. But I remember sitting around in music, and I'm looking towards the teacher or whatever, and our friend is talking to this guy, and they say something, and he'll just do random things sometimes, and I guess what he decided to do was because you can see a lot of his his veins and muscles and stuff. And so if he tenses his body, you can see a lot of his muscles bulging and stuff, and his veins and all that. And one day I'm just sitting there in music, and I hear my friend I hear our friend start going like, "Oh my God, look at this shit!" I turn to the side, and it is like that one meme of the kid in the classroom, and you can see just the massive forehead vein.
Yeah.
But it's on his entire body, and I'm sitting. I look at him, I'm like, "Oh my God." And he's just like that. And then he untenses his body. And he's still like that. And I'm like, what the fuck have you done?
He's a lizard person.
He was a fucking... He's a fucking...
I can do that with my neck.
He's got the T virus. Oh, I hate doing that because I feel like I'd get stuck like that.
You're just the fucking one lizard that just has the fucking thing.
The frilled lizard.
Yeah.
Or a cobra. They got the hoods.
My uncle's best friend that I always called... Or, no, my dad's best friend that I always called my uncle because he was always hanging around so much.
Naturally.
He would do that. He would be like, and then he would stick his finger behind it and start pulling it the other way. And
Yeah.
I'm like, ugh. And he's like, I have to make sure I don't do that too much. It could kill me. And I'm like, you're crazy.
That's insanity. I always get worried about that stuff because the one line from Scary Godmother. You remember Scary Godmother?
No.
That was the old CG animated TV movie or whatever that looked fucking horrible, but it was a little girl who goes with a witch in her spooky house, and there's a skeleton with a bow tie that lives in the closet, and they try to teach
named R. Kelly.
And they try to teach the girl not to be afraid of monsters, and prank their friends because their friends are dicks. But I remember there's one specific bit where the most antagonist of the friends or whatever, he's like, I'm hatching an evil plan, and he does his big smile where his lips curl and coil and all that. And there's a joke where his mom says, "Are you making evil faces again? Don't do that. Your face will get stuck like that." And then he does it again later in the movie, and his face does get stuck like that. And I always thought oh no, I don't want that to happen to me.
You know what always kind of scared me? When I was younger, I watched 1,000 Ways to Die at a really young age. And
Which death scared you?
It was the one that I felt was most possible because you could just do it with your finger. But the one where you poke someone in their temple in a certain way and they die 3 days later. I don't think it's really real. But when I was a kid, I was like, I'm not gonna let anything touch the side of my head.
Every kid was like that, because your parents would put the fear of God into you. It's oh, literally, if anything slightly touches your temple, you're dead.
You're dead, kid.
You're dead, kid.
But you know what was really scary? At our public school,
Ghosts.
we had this one kid who always folded his eyelids.
I had a couple kids that did
And
that.
then he just walked around.
Yeah, I remember another one of our friends used to do that a bit. I would be in the lunchroom and I'd turn to the side and he'd be like, "Blah, blah, 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 blah," and I'd be like, don't do that.
It's gross.
It was scary. Very scary.
I got a question for y'all.
Wow.
I might have an answer.
Has the edible hit at all?
A little bit.
Not really.
How long has it been?
An hour.
Our tolerance is crazy.
How much did you give us?
15.
Oh.
Way less than last time.
That's the
White.
problem. It's way less. I feel it.
I feel it.
I'm still like
This is more of a chill day.
very self-aware.
Chill sobriety.
Mm-hmm.
Which is good because I swear to God, every time after you have an edible, like the following day, you're like not feeling great or whatever. And if we have like a D&D thing that day, you're always like, oh man, I don't think I can make it, or I'm not feeling it. You did that like the past 2 times, and we got a session tomorrow, and you're gonna have to be there for it.
I won't be as bad, but last time, man, it was bad. Like, I didn't green out like Kyle, but like my head just hurts.
Yeah. You ready? It'll be a wonderful session.
I just also didn't want to fucking deal with you fucking guys.
What's the matter?
Oh, their poor hearts.
They won't know.
They watch this.
No, they don't.
Do they?
Yeah?
Hmm.
Well, one of them does.
Okay.
The other one does not.
I can probably guess who does.
Yeah.
Don't say their name.
I won't.
Don't try and think of it.
Don't think it, don't say it, don't think it, don't say it.
I don't want
Gamer
a lot
mode.
for Christmas.
That is funny. Have we told the first any tales of the first session we had with when you joined? Cause
Was there any like funny moments?
yeah, there was. The fart.
Oh my god. Yeah.
So, we got Tyler in on a D&D campaign that we're doing on the side, and I'm playing some like Monster Hunter-y character, and the other person in the party is playing as a clown, a jester. And because of subclass stuff, what the jester is able to do is basically, if they cast a certain spell and you succeed the save against it, they can basically cause a distraction by making the person who succeed the save do something funny, which is like, oh, you fall over, or you
What
you make a
happens if
fart
I
noise.
fail it?
This is what happens, because if you fail, then it was a detect thoughts, so so they would have read your mind, but so because we were having a funny little disagreement, Clown decides, I'm gonna cast detect thoughts, and you're gonna have to roll me a save. He rolls a save, he like crushes it, so he succeeds, and naturally that triggers the fail state. So the clown then the player then describes like, all right, so your character Arthur does a big loud fart noise, and Tyler got so mad. He sits there, he's like, what the fuck is it? You try that shit again, I'm gonna beat you up. And we just start
How
laughing.
am I going to fucking crush it? 'Cause I'm pretty sure like I crit or something. Or I came
Yeah.
really close.
You got like 23.
And something fucking stupid happens.
Yeah, because that's the entire point. The point is it's a subclass feature where if you succeed on the thing... Because normally the way that spell works is you read someone's mind, but if you fail, they know you're reading their mind.
Yeah.
And you don't get to dig deeper. So the point of that subclass is that it's a unique feature where if you fail, something happens and it distracts them so they don't know you're reading their mind. But it's also a subclass based around like jester shit, being a dumb fool.
A funny
So the point is that it makes you do a silly social gaffe. So that's what it
Fucking
does.
stupid.
And in that moment, that's what she wanted to do. She wanted to make you do a funny fart.
That reminds me of the same reaction of in the other campaign when you got your finger cut off by the crab.
I just wasn't having a good weekend.
So this is
No.
gonna sound...
We're not talking about fucking Penelope, man.
Don't
Yes,
wanna
we
talk
are. I
about
want to
that.
talk about the funny crab boss.
So I had set up a bunch of things involving random encounters in the woods, because these people that I was DMing for, these people right here plus others, were they were hunting animals, and of course you had to decide the animal based on a random roll. But I had special boss fights intended. One of them was based on a event in Divinity 2 Original Sin, where there is a crab that is a powerful mage. So I made a crab. I buffed up its health a little, and I gave it the stats, the spell casting abilities of a mage. So it could cast, like, up to, like, 5th level spells or something. Not many, but it could. So it could cast, like, Fireball and Counterspell and shit. Mm-hmm. And this crab, they never fought it in that place, but then they go to another place, and I think I'll give them a random encounter while they're heading between locations, and they crit it. So they get a special encounter. There is no normal special thing I can do because of how this place is set up. So I just have to throw in, like, some kind of unique thing. So I'm like, alright, they're fighting Penelope the Crab. I called her Penelope the Dread Tyrant.
Hated it so much.
Yeah, Tyler, you left the boss fight.
I did.
Yeah, Tyler abandoned. He just left the boss fight.
Like, literally after I got fucking, ice blasted, I just fucking left.
You got hit with a cone of cold.
I was like, I ain't fucking dealing with this.
What happened was, they walk into the scene, and there's nothing there but a crab. And I describe, the crab snips its claws at you. You know, it's threatening. And so I expected you to kind of be like, oh, we don't want to bother the crab, it's just a crab. No, the barbarian walks up and he's like, I think it would be funny to just, like, kick this crab. But then Tyler's like, nah. He walks right up and as he walks directly in front of the crab, I'm like, alright, the crab is looking at you. It's snipping its claws defiantly at you. What do you do?
To go pick it up the normal way you're meant to pick up crabs.
In my defense, I did not know that this is apparently how you pick up crabs. But
you fucking...
Well, they can whip around fast.
Not really.
Kinda.
Like,
the way... Well, you see, you're thinking of a regular crab. This is
Penelope.
This is Penelope,
but still,
the Dread
even
Tyrant.
then, even with crabs, if you can, like, reach behind them and, like, obviously stay out with a pincer, they have little spines on their back that you can easily lift them up from.
Okay, but... This is Penelope, the Dread Tyrant.
the Bread Tyrant. But he goes to try and pick it up, and I'm thinking, alright, she has, like, other than her spells, she just has a claw attack that literally just does 1 damage, called Snip, and the description
You shouldn't
just
have told him
snip a
that.
bitch.
Tyler's face just sunk. He's thinking about
He saw
killing
it.
now.
He's literally saw that it rolled 1d1 for damage.
Yeah. I just don't get why I lost a fucking finger.
It's just sinking into me now.
This is why you lost a finger, because I'm like, alright, aha, funny, trying to touch the crab. Roll me a dex check or whatever to just, because it's going to try and snip your hand as you're coming in, so, roll to avoid. If you fail, you'll take 1 damage as she snips you. You roll a crit fail.
Did I roll a crit fail?
You rolled a crit fail.
Yes, I did.
And so I'm like, now something's got to happen. And it's
lose my middle finger.
So I sit there, I'm like, alright, Tyler, roll me 1d4 for each finger, because I wasn't going to take off your thumb. But I'm like, roll me 1d4 for your fingers. And rolls me whatever he rolled. I'm like, alright, you're going to have a hard time flipping people off now. She snips your finger off. So I roll the damage, and of course it's 1 damage, but now he's missing a finger. And then he continues to pick her up anyway. And it's like, you're picking up the crabs.
No, I didn't.
You did pick up the crab.
No, I didn't.
Did you not?
I literally said, fuck it. I wanted to fucking shoot it. But then you fucking ice coned me.
Yeah, because he continues to antagonize Crab. And so I'm like, alright. So she casts Cone of Cold, which is like a 5th level spell. And it does like 30 cold damage directly to his face. That was the only spell slot of that level
Brought
she had.
me down to like 17 health.
Yeah, it just takes off most of his health. And then combat starts. Everyone's like preparing. Fucking Eric runs up with his shotgun, cocks the shotgun, and just starts unloading barrels into the crab.
1 crit and then 1 other hit.
Yeah. And
then it disappears and goes invisible, and I still hit it in the brush.
And Tyler everyone's like ready for combat, everyone's doing what they can. Tyler just picks up his finger and says, I'm leaving. So he just walks off. I'm like, alright, man, sure.
Listen, I was gonna come back because things actually did look kind of dicey there for a second. Like, no matter what one of our, the magic user did,
yeah,
it just got countered. And
yeah, because she was counterspelling.
Because, and the other person, the barbarian, couldn't hit.
Yeah, couldn't. And that's the thing. The funny thing was, it was greater invisibility, so she could keep casting while she was invisible. I realized that would also be kind of that would like dunk the shit out of you because she could just start casting fireballs while invisible. So, but I'm like, what would Penelope do? She is the Dread Tyrant. So she cancels her invisibility and looks at Eric's character and casts Suggestion on him, which succeeds. And she says, you should start counting every grain of sand on this beach. And naturally, I tell Eric, you failed to save. You are compelled to do this. And he's like, can I count like the sands or the grains of sand under the crab with my shotgun? I'm like, no. That's not how you count sand.
You really did try to fucking slick Rick your way through that.
So he goes over to the beach and he starts counting grains of sand. And everyone else is just trying to kill this crab. Like our caster starts trying to cast spells at the crab. Counterspell.
Oh.
And the first time it happened was hilarious because she casts Eldritch Blast, fucking nails her right in the head, and I'm like, all right, counterspell. And she just goes, did this crab just counterspell my Eldritch Blast? I'm like, yeah, she's gonna do it again.
What made Penelope lose concentration?
On the invisibility?
No, on the suggestion.
I'm pretty sure that was our spellcaster just continuing to blast her with Eldritch Blast.
Yeah.
And then I ran over and
Fucking finish it off.
Took his shotgun and finished the job.
no, I thunderous smited it with my mace.
Oh, right, because you had like fucking 6 health left at that point. And you really didn't need to.
The cat ate the fucking
Well,
crab.
I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know that I only needed 6.
Yeah. Oh, it was funny because like there was a bit where the barbarian goes up and starts hitting, and he gets like a solid hit on her, and he's like, "Aha, I got her with these hits." I'm like, "No, she casts shield. Her AC raises by 5."
Then he did the. Did he do the one thing where he can increase his attack roll, or was that
No.
just his AC?
He didn't do that.
So I remember like Penelope went to hit him, and it would have fucked him up.
Oh yeah, because he can, as a reaction, he can kind of like he can temporarily roll a dice to increase his AC for that attack.
Luckily, it was just enough.
Yeah, it was just. But this entire boss fight that I had to just do on the fly, and Tyler was angry about it.
Man,
I really like the lizard folk.
Yeah.
we have to have fucking the lizard lady on our team now.
I'm gonna fuck her.
I'm going to.
Barbara
as well.
Claus.
Yeah. Barb Claw.
Well, I'm glad you approve of my lizards.
She's just so.
You didn't at first.
I did.
Someone didn't at first. I forget who, but some people were not into the lizards at first. Or at
I
least they didn't
was
sound like.
always into the lizards.
You were into them.
I think it was the barbarian.
Probably. Because the thing about lizard folk is that they are quite literally lizard brains. So they don't understand metaphor, and they speak very literally and with actions. So if they want to suggest something, they just say, "You're gonna go do that." If they are gonna do something, if they want to do something, they just say, "I'm gonna go do this now," because I don't give a shit. And they're trying to talk to these lizard folk, and they're just speaking so matter of fact about shit, and they don't understand like some of the specific words they're using. So Eric's like, "I understand how this is going." He walks up to one standing by a door. He says, "Is this, or can I enter this building?" The man says, "The door is not locked." He says, "I will enter the building." The lizard man just nods at him. And everyone else is like, "He's cracked the code." And then Tyler goes up to their shaman. He's like, "Can you reattach my finger?" He's like, "I can." So he grabs some thread, some fucking alcohol, disinfects it or whatever, sews his finger back on. It's like, "Your finger's now reattached." It's like, will it recover? It's like, "Well, it's attached. That's what you wanted."
Yeah, because then I explained the science behind it, and you're like, no.
Nope.
I have to find someone who has the spell to fucking regen a limb.
Yep. Or, just
live with it.
Someone else. Get a robot finger.
Yeah, I was about to say it was like a robot thing.
Because, I mean, I've explained it before in this campaign. You can get a high value or a high class prosthetic that looks real but is mechanical. You can get a low class one, which is like your obvious mechanical stuff, or you can get a biological replacement if you go to Mind Flayers.
Luckily, we know where a Mind Flayer is.
Can
That
I
is
get
correct.
a poor one that looks robotic, but I have like attachments to it that make it cooler? Like I have it split open and there's a blade in it.
Ah, the Warforged blade arms. Maybe.
You'd have to lose.
You
a
gotta
limb
lose a
first.
limb first, but you know.
I'm sure it'll happen at some point.
Give it time. I haven't bothered to take off your limbs, I haven't bothered trying to specifically target your limbs yet.
Yeah.
But I do have dismemberment mechanics, so it could happen.
Yeah, I was the first. I was patient zero.
You were ground zeros for losing bits and bobs.
I hope I lose a leg or both legs.
Would you like me to put a minefield in?
No. But if I had to choose which limb, it would be those ones, so I could get the springy legs.
Would you allow something like that? Like, say he does lose both legs and he gets like robotic ones. So would you allow him to have like a increased movement speed or something?
It depends. The base point of extra limbs is just replacement. Like, it is essentially just to replace a limb with no extra stat gain. Naturally, I'm not opposed to the idea of working out having some, like, extra benefit, but you would need to, like, either pay extra or do some extra shit.
There would be like a pro and a con to
like,
it.
It would be, like, reward tier stuff.
Like, you get robotic legs that have, like, thrusters in the calves, and, like, you can move an extra... You can dash as not an action type shit. But then your legs are, like... You can't use it for, like, a full day type deal.
That sounds like a Swamp Mucus song. Thrusters in the calf.
Thought we were done with that.
Swamp Mucus lives on forever.
I will never not think about Swamp Mucus.
Uh,
How much time are we at?
We're at an hour 27.
Should we end it? I'm running out of things to talk about.
Yeah.
listen, I got more school stories.
I think we told a lot of them by now.
Yeah, we've told a lot of school stories this episode.
Well, just in general.
Yeah,
We
true.
told a fair amount of exploits from our younger years. None of them good.
Yeah,
No, because
we're all
nothing
kind
good
of
happened.
we're all kind of shits.
Yeah.
We never did anything on purpose.
We were just
Well-
dumb. I was just dumb.
I mean, I was dumb too, but just in different ways.
I just never went to school.
The unholy
Timothy
trinity.
did not go to school.
Let's just... Tyler, you're going to start going by spits now. And anytime you finish saying something, spit on the ground.
Why?
I don't know. I just thought of it.
Because he's spitting straight facts.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna actually spit.
Good. You'd hit my computer. She is my wife. She very good. What is a song? Don't say a construct of words, Kyle.
I wouldn't have said that.
You would have. Don't fucking
No,
lie.
I would have said a better
You
line.
would have said something smarter. Yeah.
Oh,
Fruit salad.
yummy.
Yummy fruit salad. I did my time and I want out.